Hey guys, today we're going to be making a Daryl vest. A lot of people ask me what are the measurements of the wings, and the thing is the wings don't really have a measurement. I set it on top of the vest and I just compare it to a real photo because if you have a medium vest, a large vest, an XL, it's going to be a different measurement every time. So what I do is I get a pair of pants. I got this at a thrift store for about $7. I cut it out and I set it on top of the vest. Daryl's wings are always about an inch and a half from the collar. It's sort of just a guessing game, but it always ends on the third hole down. So this is sort of going to be your marker on how big the wing is going to be depending on what size vest you have. And now let's talk about the vest itself. The vest is made from Wilson's leather. They did discontinue this vest, so it's no longer on their website. I had to find a used one on eBay, and luckily I found one on my size, and yeah, I just bought it. So I would look in Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay for Wilson's leather lace-up vests, and hopefully you find one because they are discontinued. There is another vest from Jan Man Leather, and they are really similar, but I think they're wider. I'm not sure. I haven't seen them in real life, and they are pretty pricey, but they do look almost exact to these. Next thing you want to do is place the fabric on top of the vest and draw an outline on the side of the vest so you know exactly where it ends, because we're pretty much just going to be comparing pictures. I'm not going to be able to film myself. I'm going to need my phone, but I'm going to have my phone here with Daryl's vest, and I'm just going to be comparing the outline. Make sure you have the exact same gaps everywhere, and make sure it ends on the third hole, and it's pretty much just a comparing drawing game. I did add a line right here with a pencil, so now you pretty much just have to focus in sections. So take a look at the real photo, and now you sort of have an idea on how big this section should be. Then move on to smaller sections and start drawing. All right, so now we got one wing outline drawn. If it's possible, I would try pinning the fabric to the vest so this doesn't move around at all, because as you can see, mine is moving a little bit. So yeah, if you can, I would pin it to the vest. But like I said, these guidelines, these seams are really useful, so you sort of know exactly where you're drawing. So yeah, it's pretty much just comparing. For example, right here, this wing ends at the third hole, and this sort of ends to that. This one sort of ends to the middle, and same with the bottom one ends at the third. You know, just like how it is in this photo, you just want to compare the best as you can. And right here, you sort of just have to just assume how big it is and just draw it. You know, just use your imagination and just assume that's how big the gap is and everything. But yeah. Okay, so now I got both wings done. Another small thing you could do is crop out the real wing and sort of overlay it on top so you sort of know the little things that you got to fix once you have them fully drawn. I just finished doing that, so now they're ready for them to be cut out. So now we have the wings cut out, and next thing is drawing the feathers. So I do recommend using a pencil so you could erase whatever you want. And I'm not going to show the process of me drawing. I do have another video where I do show myself drawing it if you do want to click on that. But anyway, it is nice to draw the seams, and you could sort of use those lines as sort of, you know, a way to just work in the sections and just focus on little pieces. Okay, so now we have the feather design sketched out on the vest with the pencil. You do want to make sure you have an eraser because you're going to need to do a lot of erasing. So what I like to do first is obviously sketch out the design as best as I can. And if you really want it accurate, what I like to do is take a picture of the vest, just like how it is right now. Make sure you have everything in, you know, everything centered. And I like to take a picture of the real wing and lay it on top of my vest and sort of make this slideshow right here so you could really tell if your feathers are where they're supposed to be. And if they're not, you could just get the eraser and just move around the feathers. So I just got done doing that, so it should be pretty close to perfect right now. And now what I'm going to do is really, you know, actually draw the feathers with an actual marker. I'm going to be using Indian ink and fabric markers, so yeah, I'll just skip to that. Okay, so I just finished drawing the feathers with Indian ink. This is what I used. I was planning on not painting the wings, but I don't really like how it looks on camera. It looks plain brown, and it looks really bright on camera. I like the natural color of the pants, but I think I'm going to paint them just a little bit. I'm gonna mix green, brown, a couple of drops of black, and a little bit of yellow, and hopefully get the same color that I got on my other vest. I don't remember what I used for that one, but I think that was it. But yeah, I'm not gonna put too many layers of paint. Hopefully it's just a light coat, and I'll come back once I'm done. I'm not gonna show myself painting and drawing because I have a video where I show that already. Okay, so here is the first coat. I actually like it like this. I'm gonna leave it like this. It has green and mostly brown. So both mostly green and brown. And it has a few drops of black and a few drops of yellow. And this is how I got this color. It is still pretty similar to my old one. Let's see. Yeah, you know, it's pretty similar. Once I put some black shading, it might actually even turn out the same. But it's mostly brown, which is what I wanted, because I feel like my old ones are they're pretty green. But these ones are going to be mostly brown, just a little bit, which is what I'm trying to go for. And yeah, what's next is pretty much just adding in the shading, all the little dots that you see, every single detail. And yeah, I explained how I do it in my other video. You get the rag, you wipe it down with the Sharpie, not a Sharpie, but a fabric marker, and you just scrub it underneath each feather. And I'll be back once I do that. Alright, so I shaded underneath each feather. I did add a little bit of detail. I don't know if you could tell, but there's like little lines that I drew on with a marker that was starting to dry out. There's little dots that you could see on the real vest. And yeah, just shade underneath each feather. And I'm not sure if you could tell, but this one has a little bit more detail than this one. And that is because the wing design is actually stitched on. So I just did that. I'm going to start doing it to this one now. And after I'm done, I'm going to pretty much pin them into place and get them sewn on. Now, I get a lot of questions regarding how do you sew the wings on. There is no way around it. You pretty much have to hire a professional to sew the wings on. You need someone with an industrial sewing machine to sew them on. I've seen people try to do it by hand, but that looks like so much work. But yeah, there's no way around it. You have to get it sewn by a professional or something. I'm not the one that sews it. Once I get it sewn on, then I add a little bit more details like shading on the seams. Just a little bit of shading, you know, where the seams are. Okay, the wings are now officially sewn into place. I did get this wire brush, and I just went crazy at the end of the wings. So this little pieces of thread could come out just to give it more of that patch look. So I'm going to do this wing next. And after I'm done with that, I'm going to add some shading on the seams. I'm going to pull up the picture of Daryl's vest and try to just darken them in the areas that are dark and try to match it up as much as possible. And just like that, guys, I think the vest is pretty much done. The camera really does not do justice to the color of it. It has a hint of green that the camera really does not really pick up. But anyway, I did add a little bit more shading. I think I'm going to add a little bit more still. And these are the markers that really came in handy for shading. So other than the India ink, I like using these for shading a lot. I think this is a regular marker made by Tulip. I'm not sure how permanent it is, but this one here is really permanent. This is a fabric marker made by the same company. And these ones right here are my favorite. I don't remember where I got any of these. Maybe you guys could look them up on eBay. These ones, if you have to pick one, I would get this pack right here. This one is really good. And I also have this pen that sort of just helps with the little details that you want to put on, all the little dots and stuff. I'm not sure if it's permanent, but it doesn't really matter because I'm actually going to be clear coating spray paint on the wings. Make sure it's matte clear coat. I'm only going to put about 3 layers, and that really protects your wings a lot from water, from anything. It just protects your wings if you put in clear coat, but just make sure it's the matte version. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope these tips helped you, and see you in my next video.